Hi, welcome to my journey. Oh my gosh, it's the day after Thanksgiving. I've already had my protein shake, got my collagen, my creatine, and my fiber, right? Got my doses, all right? This here is my protein coffee. And now I'm getting out for like my hour of therapy. You know, I was headed out and Gracie, the baby PD, she was listening to me and she could sense that I was leaving, right? She could sense she was whining, take me with you, take me with you. Now I have to contemplate, is it wise to give more time to the baby PD, right? Or if I give time to the baby PD, will that make the older PD so jealous that it could be to the demise of the baby PD? Hold on, let's talk about it. Now, a lot of people think that only human beings have emotions, but we know that other animals have emotions too. Okay? And, we see all the time animals jousting for attention, to be petted, to get the food, to be first, and yeah. Oh my God, it looks like there's a storm over there, even though it looks nice, looks partially cloudy over here. Yeah, but it's okay. Because the one thing I want to do is I just want to take a ride to get out of the house and just get a pulse of the city, I've been watching Sanction Ivan for a minute there, right? And I even went back on his channel, right? Looks like his channel started approximately 3 years ago, and at that time I suspect he was about 22, 23, somewhere in his early 20s, and him and his homeboys, I guess his peer group, kind of like guys his age or thereabout, who didn't want to be called into the service, especially, to fight this war against Ukraine. Okay? Right. So he's out here, recording his story, right? And the funny thing is he has an issue with his hair, right? And he does kind of remind you of Trump, right? And then when you see his girlfriend, Evelina, right? She kind of looked like his second wife, right? Beautiful brunette, So, yeah. So I was watching because, I never really, sort of inquired about his story, right? But as I've been watching, some of his older feeds started coming up on my algorithm. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, So it showed, how I wanted to say how he deflected, getting into the war by going to Turkey, right? Right now he's over there in Thailand, but I guess his first stop was Turkey. I don't know if he has stops between Turkey and Thailand. I started watching him in Thailand, and now I'm kind of intrigued about, his journey, right? And, his motivation, to make his journey is that it's better than whatever it is he's facing out here in the world. It's better than, having to go fight a war that he does not believe in. He does not believe in that war. Not that he doesn't like his country, because he's always stating that he is a Russian, right? He is a Russian. But, he is not going to fight a war, not even for Russia, that he does not believe in, right? And, it's interesting how, people got their opinions and their feelings about the stuff, around the world they have their feelings. All around the world, and ay, right? So, he's been telling, people that, YouTube is his job, right? And honestly, from what I can see, it's interesting enough to watch, right? I mean, I think he's got like 200,000, give or take, subscribers, and people are watching it. So it is a legitimate job, unlike myself, I got like a lot of videos and nobody watches them. But, I like to rewatch my videos, right? Because, it helps me journal, my thoughts, my activities, because as a woman, I'm going to tell you, we go through a lot of gaslighting, right? We get a lot of persecution that we're crazy, persecution that we're evil. And then, when, we get caught in our feelings, right, of wanting to please, we'll accept the things that people will tell us as long as, we're able to, keep the peace, right? Well, some of us. Not all of us, and not all of us all at a time, right? You can fool some of the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people. Well, let me say it this way: you can fool some of the women some of the time. You can fool all of the women some of the time, but you can't fool all of the women all of the time. All right, and that's just the facts of life. Okay, so yeah, I'm using my channel, and a lot of women are doing the same thing, because this is enlightening women into understanding that what we're going through is a problematic patriarchy system that's happening all around the world, right? And the fact that the patriarchy system is at risk, right? That has made women who are aware, enemy number one. Okay? Enemy number one to the patriarchy. Right? This is where these men are saying, oh, you're destroying our society. And it's like, no, that's not just your society. Men, it's not just your society. Men, if you were aborted at any stage of your life as a child, you wouldn't be here today. But today you are here by the grace and mercy of some woman who risked her life, sacrificed her time, energy, resources, and yet you want to believe that the world belongs to you and that everybody else is just non-character participants. You really need to think about that. You better think about the things you say to me before you get sorted out.